Welcome. And our main mission here, our main goal here is to come out of confusion. So the first, if I have to have this subtle inquiry within myself, what to do, like how to meditate, what to do, how do I manage this situation? There's just one answer, very clear answer, that my first primary mission, first and foremost mission, is to come out of confusion. And so that confusion of how I'm defining myself, when we looked at that box called the physical world, if I don't own anything in this room right now, then can anything in this room define me? If I don't own anything, then it cannot define me. So nothing in that box of family, work, and office, it doesn't define me. And that's my primary mission, to come out of that confusion that something here is defining me. And yesterday we looked at mindsets, different mindset, and there are only two types of mindsets. Every mindset almost acts like a spiral. So if there is insecurity, there is confusion, then there is insecurity, and because of this insecurity, there are expectations, and then there is this whole spiral. It's like just like we have this gravitational force. This whole thing about being insecure, this is like a gravitational force. It is All of this is like a spiral. So this spiral is taking me down, so a downward spiral internally. So wherever I am insecure, wherever I'm confused that this is defining me, then my thoughts, my mindset, there will be insecurity. Somewhere I feel a lack, and because of that lack, we expect. And we feel that I need this and I need that. And because of those expectations, we have these very disturbing emotions, and that becomes life experience. And these emotions are, we said sad, bad, mad, but we can say, blame, feeling like a victim, hurt, disappointment, depression, anxiety, desperation. Desperation, another very disturbing feeling to be in, emotion to be in. And so this mindset is like a downward spiral. It's, just there's no end to that. There's no bottom line. It's just like you keep falling down internally. Internally, situation can be anything, but internally, it's like you're falling off, you know, and there's no end to that. So many emotions. There's distraction, and in any situation, in any scenario, it is as if mind is looking for danger. Mind is looking for threats. Somehow, because we talked about the two wolves inside every mind. So there are two wolves inside every mind. One is the insecure one, and another one is the secured one. And which one wins? Which wolf wins actually?
Insecure.
Insecure one wins.
The
Yes.
one we let.
The one we feed is the one that wins. Yes. And so we let the insecure one, win, because we let it rule our mind. And yes, I do need this. Yes, I want them to be this way. And then we, thoughts, so mindset means mind means the power to create thoughts. Mind means the power to create thoughts. So all our thoughts are with this energy. All the thoughts are of this energy. If there is insecurity and confusion, expectation in the manifestation of being distracted, hurt, disappointed, blame, angry, jealous. And when there is security, there is acceptance, then thoughts are of love, understanding, care, contribution. Only the one who is secured can contribute. They can truly help. They can be contribute means useful. Where there is insecurity, they can never be of use in any situation, in any relationship, not a useful mind. And so this mind is a useful mind. And as we said, mind are thoughts. Mind means my power to create thoughts. And right now, what science tells us is that in a day, how many thoughts do an average mind creates in a day? Any idea? So on an average, 80,000 thoughts, an average mind. And if there is depression and anxiety, it can be double this amount. And every thought, as we said, it's feeding one of the wolves. So every thought is an investment. And so every morning we get $80,000. That's the money we get. And each thought is like an investment towards secured mindset or insecure mindset. Um, and now we have all our science and even spiritual communities focusing at the power of mind, power of thoughts, and how to shift, work at the level of thoughts, have positive thoughts, get rid of negative thoughts, get rid of waste thoughts. And so we are working at this level, largely at large, we are working at this level of the mind. And actually, it's like if you have two children at home, and one is the elder one and the other one is the younger one, and you want both of them to do the same thing. Yeah, you want both of them to stop playing and go and study. So, which one will you speak to first? Sure. Elder one. So they're both playing, and I want both of them to go and study. And so we go to the elder one and we give him instructions. Once he is sorted, he is convinced that I have to stop playing and I have to study. Then the younger one eventually, they tend to follow the elder one. Yeah. And so this is the mind, and these are the thoughts. They can be used to feed security or insecurity. Yes. And 80,000 thoughts, that's a lot to work on. Yeah, we can't really work at every thought. Now I'm thinking this, now I'm thinking that. It's a lot of work. And that's why spirituality, the spirituality gives us hope, at this level. It gives us hope because this is the true self. And this true self is a master, king. Natural state of every being is insecurity or security, natural state. What is natural for each one? What do you feel is natural? Yeah, even though insecurity, we may spend our most of our time in this state of being. We may be spending our time in expectations and insecurity, but we are making this statement that for everyone, security is the normal state of being. And on what basis can we make this statement? For each mind, each being, acceptance, love, care, being useful, being powerful, being at peace. We are making this statement that this is our normal state. And how can we make this big, big statement? Even the one who is acting as a terrorist, acting as a criminal, depressed, anxious, statement is that this is the normal state of each one.
Because there's the hope.
Because there's
We
hope.
go from the place of hope and we say we're secure because we
Yeah.
hope to be secure.
Okay. No, yeah, that is a good approach. What else?
We feel comfortable.
We-
We feel this is normal. The things which everyone.
Yes. I can be in this downward spiral, in hurt and blame and victim and lot of resentment, lot of anger. But does that feel comfortable? Does that emotion feel comfortable? Yes. And doesn't feel comfortable because that which is normal for me is what makes me comfortable. Yes. And so I can shout at someone and I can be holding grudges for them, but it comes with some sort of discomfort. No matter how justified it is, no matter how valid I feel it was for me to get angry, it just doesn't feel uncomfortable. Nobody will say that I want to get angry again. No, what an experience. I want to get depressed again. Yeah? So there is this element of discomfort. So just like water has a room temperature, this is our room temperature. Yeah, this is our room temperature, normal and natural for everyone. But we've moved away from this room temperature, and so we can keep water in a frozen state for 30 hours, but that's not its normal temperature. As soon as we get a normal environment, water will be in liquid state. And so this is the normal state of every being. Being a master is the normal state. Yeah. And so that's why every time we start from this inner interest that this is my normal state. So this does 50% of the work internally. And so I acknowledge what is my room temperature, what is normal for me. We need to acknowledge that. And this is a big, big shift. And so for every being the master, which we in this language, we're also referring as the invisible guest or traveler or a tourist. So this invisible guest is a master, yeah? And he has some functions. So there is the mind, and there is the intellect, and then what we call sanskars or habits. Sanskars or habit. And so this intellect is the elder brother, elder sibling in each one. What do you understand by intellect? This intellect is like the, what we say, perspective. It's a viewpoint. And so is there a difference between perspective of an eagle and a perspective of an ant? Is there a difference? Perspective of an ant, perspective of an eagle. And what's the difference?
One gives you a macro view.
Yes, yes. It's a narrow vision and there's a broad vision. And so that's the difference. And wherever the perspective that the intellect is in or is using, my thoughts, my mind will be at that level. So if my perspective is of an ant, then my thoughts are working at that level. My thoughts are supporting the life of an ant. Yeah. And so for an ant, whole day is very busy. If you ask an ant, how's life, extremely busy, carrying a grain of rice, whole day. That's the food, and it's carrying the whole day. You can see for an ant, from here to a lot of hard work. So, and if you ask her, how does this car look like? If an ant is walking under a car, and you ask, how is this car? So it will have a limited vision of how the car is. And so whatever is my vision, what I can see is, supported by my thoughts. So for an ant, the car will be black color and it's looking at it it's standing at the ground and looking up. Yeah. And for an eagle, you know, eagle is flying above a car, and we ask, what is a car like? What does a car look like? And it will give a broader view of how the car is really. And life of an eagle is quite effortless. It's flying and getting a lot done, and it's the king of all the birds. Eagle, king of all the birds, has a we use this language, eagle's view, eagle's eye. And so because it has a very clear picture, has a broad vision, yeah, it can see everything, whereas an ant, cannot see everything. So whatever my perspective is, all my 80,000 thoughts are working in that level, are supporting that perspective. And whatever, my mind is thinking again and again comes into my action, and that becomes my sanskars, that becomes my habit. So we have a very simple approach. We work at this level. We are not working at 80,000 thoughts, but we are working at our perspective. And so for the perspective, we looked at this box, yeah, which we said is the physical world. This represents our life. It represents our life situations, the entire environment. This is the box. Now I'm just going to draw. What is this? Curtains. And so what is this? Stage. Yeah. And who is this? Us. Yeah. So this is a stage. And so the spiritual perspective of, towards this environment and towards this physical world, which we were referring as, we are just visiting, we're a guest. This is a stage. This is a stage. This whole world is a stage. And every men and women, they are, yeah, Shakespeare. This is like a Shakespeare English class. And so Shakespeare said every, man and woman, they are just actors here. They're just actors here. And what happens on a stage? Performance. So a performance is happening on the stage. And very important for us to know, who is this? So someone said it's us, but any other thoughts? Who is this? So his name is, sorry, what's your name?
Caution.
Kaushal. So this is Kaushal. Okay. And so who is this? This is Kaushal. But what is Kaushal? Who is Kaushal? This is a mask. Yeah, we can say this is a role. And who is this? Mine. This is us. This is I am. And so Kaushal is a role play. Yeah. Ananya is a role, is a character. So Kaushal is a character and I am the star. Different personality and completely different. It's like two people from different world. Yeah? And who is the guest here? Who is the guest? Kaushal is the guest. Where is?
I am.
Yeah. So this star is, this invisible presence is the guest. So Kaushal is born here. Kaushal's this entire story of Kaushal, Amit, Ankita, this entire story is a role play. It's a character. And who is behind the character? These are the actors. And so all the actors are invisible and they have come on the stage. And this entire thing that we are looking at right now, this is a stage. This is a huge stage. You know, everything that's happening is on the stage. So office is part of the stage, the train, the noise outside. This is the whole thing is a stage. And who are the actors here? Who are the guests here? These invisible stars, they are visiting here. And so this entire, um, when we use this language, when we are using this language that, we are the guest, then these guests are not just floating here. No, every guest has a home. So stage is not the home. Physical world is not the home. It's a stage. The performance is going on. But the home is beyond the stage. And so home of stars is different. And so all the invisible masters, these invisible masters, they have come here. There is an entry point for each one, and they also return back. And so there's an exit. And whatever happens in between is on the stage. So if Shah Rukh Khan plays the role of Dawn on the stage, is it two different personalities? So is Dawn the same as Shah Rukh Khan? So is Kaushal the same as the guest?
Sometimes.
Sometimes can be, if it's required in the script. Yeah. So, but can Shah Rukh Khan's family be Dawn's family? Can that happen? Yeah. Absolutely different. Life is different. Family is different. Um, Ideas, personality is different, and Dawn's personality 100% different. Yes. And so we cannot mix these two personalities. So the story of um, the story, the role, character goes on. All the characters. There's lots happening at the level of characters, and these actors, because they've forgotten that I am an invisible presence in this costume, in this role, in this character, they feel that whatever is happening at the level of Kaushal, Ankita, this is my life. And so, do you think if Shah Rukh Khan is acting as Dawn, and then now he's, Dawn's wife is his wife, and he comes back to his home, and he's, talking about my wife and my family, and everything is referring to Dawn, then what will his family think? Is that a problem? If he goes back home, completely consumed in the character. Yeah. And so if we are completely consumed in the character, then what is happening? I'm completely emotionally disconnected from my world and my personality. When we say my world, it means I'm emotionally disconnected from who I am. So sometimes, kids play games, computer games, and the World Health Organization, they did a study on all the kids who play games. And what they have seen in every kid, when they are playing teenagers, they're playing violent games and all sorts of games. It is observed that they emotionally disconnect from their family that is around them. They emotionally disconnect to their parents, to their siblings, and because of that emotional disconnect, they become rude, they become ruthless. Everything changes because they're connected to the game, the character in the story, and I'm going to die and I need this is all controlling a mouse and playing a game. And so they forget, they have headphones on and a kid is saying, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, and he's not all sort of horror. But he's sitting, behind the screen, he's absolutely alive, absolutely safe. Nothing is happening to him. Yeah. And it's only the character that is going to die or it's getting bullet or something, but he is completely safe. And this is the reality of all the actors. This is the reality of all the actors each actor, they have, entered on the stage, and there's a show going on, there's a performance going on. What happens in office is all a performance from start to end. It's all a performance. It's never, it's called the real life. And real life, Kaushal, is real life. Ananya is real life. And the real life is different. They cannot be mixed. They cannot be mixed. Mixing the two, what happens? If real life is real life, then this stage is not a stage, it's my home. And so if it's my home, then there is everything in this box defines me. Everything on the stage defines me. No? But Shah Rukh Khan, knowing who he is, being aware, he's very happy to play a servant role in a movie. Very happy to become a clerk because it doesn't affect his real status. No? It doesn't affect. He can be, a servant, a clerk. His real status, real identity is not at all harmed by the role he's playing or what is happening in the reel. Yes. And the award is not given on the basis of the status of the character, but it's how well you play it. No? How well you play it. And here, in this context, having this perspective, this clear vision. So we are all the stars, they are, they are invisible actors, they are invisible stars, and they are also invisible eagles. It's like a race of eagles. All are masters, all are king, but sleeping, but haven't acknowledged their real status. And hence, if I look at the stage as a home, stage is unpredictable, stage is under the law of change. Things are going to start and end. Lots of things happen on the stage, lot of chaos, there is action, there is sound, there is a movement, everything, lot of things happen on the stage. There are masks, there are personalities, and this world beyond stage is a world of silence. Everyone is noble. To start with, everyone is noble. Secured, immortal, each one is immortal. Every actor, every invisible, like eagles, they are immortal. They are meant to fly. They are meant to live a life of a king. They are meant to have a very clear vision. And so their world is of absolute perfection, absolute perfection. There's nothing that is lacking, full. And so the more I emotionally connect to myself and I acknowledge my real identity, I acknowledge my truth, then I am in the story, a lot of things I'm on the stage, but my life, my approach is of fullness, peace, silence. That's how I approach what's happening. Yes. And for this real being, for this star, his personality is, this is the personality. But if I'm confusing the performance, in other words, performance is called drama. On the stage, whatever happens on the stage is a show, it's a drama, it's a performance. And I'm not looking at the performance as a performance, I'm not looking at the show as a show. What will happen if I'm not aware? I'm looking at a show and completely, not clear that Harry Potter story is going on, and I'm not aware that this is a story. Then there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of complaints, there's a lot of different approach. And so if you've gone to see a movie with someone, an entire movie, they have a lot of questions, a lot of complaints, a lot of this shouldn't happen and ideas of this should happen. Where is the problem? Where is the problem? Is it in the movie or it's in my friend? The problem is in my friend. He's not clear that's a movie. He's not clear that it's on the stage. This is a performance going on. Yeah. And so with this confusion, this is the confusion that beyond, the vision of an ant is like, this is my home. And vision of an eagle, this is like two, parallel, two parallel um, lives going on. This is the real life. These actors, they have their own status, they have their life of fullness, they have their life of perfection. They're all masters. Yeah. And here, there is a performance. This is, um, Nancy is the boss and she's playing the role. This role is going on. Um, and this is, Adam. And let's say these stars, this is Peter and this is Sammy. And so for some time, Sammy is asked to play the role of Nancy, and Peter is asked to play the role of Adam. And so they're very clear that this is, Nancy and Adam are not real. This is just on the stage. So Adam can say something to Nancy, Nancy can, say something to Adam, but it's all, approached with a mindset of not taking anything too seriously, because Peter and Sammy are very clear of their real identities. They're very clear that we are one family, we are siblings, we are as if we are, real brother and sister. But we are coming here, and Adam, is a bossy, and Nancy is being dominated. So this is all going on. Yeah. But the approach, the intellect is clear, the perspective is clear. And when the perspective is clear, then I can emotionally be connected to who I am. Yeah. And so who I am, and this is my world of, silence best. This is what I haven't discovered yet. This is what I am unconscious to. And all along I've been thinking this is the only reality that exists. But for some time, just for some time, allowing myself, we are saying that I'm a guest here, I'm a guest here, but what's my home? Where's my home? Let me experience my home. And so just for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, being a guest, so how do we will look at some steps of meditation. Very simply, um, these are the two realities, and the one, the intellect that can only see this intellect, this that can only see, this box. Yeah. It's like this is a limited intellect, very limited. He's not seeing the full picture, he's not seeing the clear picture, the bigger picture. And so such an intellect can be referred to as a stone intellect. Stone intellect, it's a very hard, limited vision. And an intellect that can see beyond, like right now in this room, what all can you see? If we ask in everyone who's online as well, in your room, what all can you see? What all is present? If we talk about what is present here in this room. So there are chairs, there's a laptop, there's a camera, what else? People. People are here, what else?
Energy.
Energy is present here. Yeah, what else is present? Stars, yeah. And what's the most important thing that's present here? So we can survive, without a chair. We can survive without a laptop. Most essential?
Oxygen.
Oxygen. Yeah. And that is present in the highest quantity, maximum quantity. Yeah. But the stone intellect, limited vision, will see what is gross. what is present in front. But this intellect that can see beyond what is obvious, seeing beyond what is obvious is wisdom. And so seeing beyond what is obvious is called the divine perspective, the divine intellect. And we will also use the word paras. Paras means that can grasp what is not so obvious. Yeah? Paras means subtle. So right now, I'm sitting in my office. You know, what I can grasp is there is a boss, there is a manager, there is a project to be done. But um, what else can I grasp that is not so obvious? It's obvious there is a program. It's obvious it's a manager. He's this certain way. He has this habit. This is obvious. No, stone intellect can see this. Stone intellect can grasp this. But what is if I have to go beyond this obvious, what is something non-obvious here? They are all stars. Yeah, they are all invisible. And to start with, they are divine beings, they are noble beings. If I can grasp it, if I can look at that perspective, see from that perspective, approach the whole situation from that perspective for just 1 minute. No, 1 minute. I am shifting. In that 1 minute, I jump to this um, spiral. No? And this is an upward spiral. It's like the bird is leaving all the chains and it's coming out of the cage and it's actually flying. No? So it's like a bird that is, trapped in a prison. It's actually starting to fly. So in that 1 minute, we can completely create this jump from this downward spiral to this upward spiral, just grasping what is non-obvious. And only a divine intellect can grasp the full picture. Yeah, so the full picture is there are chairs, there's laptop, there are people, but also there are stars. Behind this costume, behind what has happened, there are stars. This is the full picture. And so if I can see situations, I can look at this whole thing, keeping in mind what the full picture is. Yeah? I can see these two are fighting, and these children, they have such habits, and he's lazy and she's too bossy. I can see that. That is obvious. Everyone can see that. But what is not so obvious, if I can grasp that and hold on to that vision for just 2 minutes, 1 minute, I create an environment where I am flying, I am coming out of the prison, and have you seen a flock of birds, like many birds sitting, on the ground? And if one flies, what happens?
Well,
Yeah, if one flies, the second one flies and the third one. And so there is like, without any reason, they just start flying without any reason. And so if without any reason I fly, then it's as if I'm allowing everyone else to fly as well. Everyone else to come into that secured mind, that state of acceptance. Yeah? I don't need to look that why are they not flying, but I just need to focus on my flight. Then it creates that atmosphere. Sooner or later, they get that inspiration to fly. So we have the option. So when we looked at this intellect, so perspective, we looked at two types of perspectives. One is the stone perspective. Yeah? It's like an ant perspective. It can also be said using a limited intellect, limited intellect. And there is paras, divine intellect. And this is the perspective of an eagle, full picture. I've come above the clouds and I've come above everything. So it's a full picture, clear picture. And these are the two perspectives, these are the two intellects. And the interesting part, the most interesting part is that each one of us has both these intellects. We have the stone intellect We can look at, we can understand what is obvious, but we also have this intellect which can understand, which can see, which can feel what is not obvious. Each one has that. Each one has both the muscles, but it's just about which muscle do we exercise is the one that is actually becomes prominent. So we have the muscles, but if I'm not using it, then it becomes numb. Those muscles are not being used. So the cells, they become dull, they become inactive. And so every time, even right now, 10 years ago as well, 50 years ago as well, I had both these muscles, both intellect. It's very easy. Everyone can do that. See the obvious, understand the obvious, why he's angry, why she's upset. I can understand that. But beyond that, beyond that, we understand they're both on a journey. They're both, and just experimenting with this. In every situation, with every person, experimenting with this perspective. That if I use this eagle intellect, if I use the divine intellect, what do I see? What more can I see here? Yeah. So each one, is noble, completely secured, completely secured. They are very noble and they are safe, they are immortal, nothing ever happens to them. They are beyond harm. Yeah, we read in scriptures, we listen to this, Ajar, Amar, Avinashi, all these words that we hear, immortal, eternal, they cannot be harmed. That's the truth of, not even water. Water cannot wet these beings. Fire cannot burn these beings. You know? And a sword, cannot cut. So it's beyond harm, absolutely beyond harm. If fire and water cannot do any harm, then someone's words, a situation, not getting a promotion, that cannot do harm to them at all. That doesn't matter. But it's just about exercising this eagle intellect. And so right now this may appear as words, but just when we start exercising the divine intellect, these words become experience. These words become what I operate from, how I see. And so every time I have this option to look at the full picture, yeah, full picture it includes both, this is a stage performance and also what's outside the what is the behind the stage reality. So there's a stage, a performance. What's behind the stage? What's the reality behind the stage? So this is a situation, this is a terrible situation. I have all the labels present, life is not fair to me, this and that. Behind the stage, what's the reality of the situation? I may need this, to grow. I may, I deserve this situation for some sort of growth. Yeah, so it's a different reality if we look at from behind the stage. It will all make sense once we know the complete story. Yeah, but if I look at just one episode, then I have a lot of questions. But if I step behind the stage, I can see the entire story and I have no questions. So these beings, these true beings, the invisible ones, this is a mind without any complaint. This is a mind without any question, any worry. These are angelic minds. When we look at this mind, intellect, so two types of intellect, divine and stone. Yeah. Stone intellect nourishes insecurity. And so thoughts of expectations, insecurity, I cannot help, but these thoughts will keep coming to my mind. That's why we say that I can't help, but it's just, I can't stop these thoughts. Why can't I stop these thoughts? Because my perspective itself to start with is not very clear that this is a stage, this is a performance, there's much more than this performance. Yeah. And this divine intellect supports the secured mind, the secured state of being. It's a secured mind. And this is like this mind is like an angelic mind. In other words, insecurity is like ego mind. So ego mind is absolutely supporting all my assumptions, questions, confused, more and more confused. Yeah? And so the more I use stone intellect, naturally this insecurity and ego mind, they become big and they become prominent. And the more I allow myself to use this divine intellect, look at things from this eagle perspective. And spirituality says, the truth of everyone is that we are all a race of eagles. Each one is a king. This is a race of eagles, but they are convinced that I'm an ant, very convinced and so busy. If you ask everyone, busy, 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 very busy. And so whole day and busy doing what? And we ourselves say, I don't know, why am I so busy? Just life is just going on. And at the end, when someone is dying, you ask them, they'll say, I'm not content, I'm not happy. So that's the life of an ant. So every time we have this choice to jump to this life of an eagle. Eagle has to become conscious. The minute we become conscious, game changes. Same situation, same people, game is different, approach is different. Um, Angelic mind is looking at things. And so an experience is different. And it's very, beautiful till we come to lesson number 6, day 6. It's just going to, everything is going to make a lot more sense. Why things happen on the stage, what's happening on the stage, it will all make sense. But our main priority is to come out of confusion. Main priority is to get clear within. We don't want to worry right now that they are not clear, they are confused, but let me come out of confusion, let me come out of am I, again, there are some actors who have played great roles, great performances, and after that they have, sometimes gone to an extreme and have taken their own life. Yeah. And the reason for that has been, by doctors and by psychologists, that they were too consumed by the character, too consumed. I think in the Bollywood industry, there was one actor, I think Dilip Kumar, who used to play like sad roles. And in their real life, they started to be quite sad, and it affects. And in the foreign world, we have one of the actors, Heath Ledger, yeah, and so played a wonderful role. But eventually, that role, so absorbed in the role that from the actual life, they just disconnect. Nothing makes sense, and it just the whole perspective is upside down. And so, if doctors start to suggest that don't act for some time, just take a pause from your movies and your acting career because you're not fit emotionally, you're not fit. Any role you play, you're going to get consumed, and you're mixing your real life with the real life. And so here the doctor is also saying that spiritual model says, don't worry about the acting part. Right now, it's more important for each one to become separate first. You don't have to worry, how do I make this better and how do I become, a better mom and a better dad. And so that betterment will happen when first I know that I'm different, I'm separate. And someone who's aware, if Shah Rukh Khan is aware I'm Shah Rukh Khan, he's asked to play Don and Badmash and whatever, and he'll do it. He'll do it in the best way because he's aware that I'm separate. And that's why I can flow into a different role. But if I'm not clear that I'm separate, then I'm taking everything personally, everything becomes about me, and then why am I, the Don, and why am I negative? So it's not clear, not clear. Yeah. So this spiritual model says first it's important, very important to become conscious. How do you become conscious? Because It's in real life, if you have someone who is confused, who is confused that they perform a role in a movie, and now they are just confused. They are looking at themselves as per that role. They are looking at you as per the roles, and in real world, this is completely mentally unstable. Yeah, and we would recommend pills for that person, and we want to give medicines, take some tablets, because they are, the word is they are mad. Yeah, they're coming into this madness. And so, is there anyone who has this madness? Yeah. Anyone who has this madness? Clear that Nancy and Peter are separate? Yeah. And so, this is the big opportunity for us to actually come out of that madness. And just for 1 minute, it's like taking a breather. Yeah, completely come out of that, and then I can step back in. But 1 minute of completely being out of what happened to Ananya, what someone said to Ananya, the project failed, this didn't work. Ananya is not me. To start with, I own nothing in that world. And so, what happens to the graph of Ananya, I cannot define myself by that. Yes, what will happen to Dawn and his sister? His Shah Rukh Khan's life is not affected by what's happening in the reel. He has a different life. Till he discovers this life, everything affects. But if you have discovered this is the life that exists right now, this reality also exists. Noble minds, angelic minds, very clean, very pure. This is the reality, even right now, of every soul. Yeah. And it just needs to be activated. It's like turning the light on, turning the switch. So we have this switch. The minute I shift to this divine intellect, all my thoughts will support. Thoughts will be of truth, of acceptance, of care, of peace, of power, thoughts of freedom, freedom, thoughts of love. Because now that I'm detached, I can love, I can radiate love. you know. So this is a nice mind, very useful mind. They can help others, they can truly help others. And this is a different quality of mind, not useful to anyone. No, wherever there is insecurity, it's not useful to anyone. It just works for my wants, my, what I want and what can make me better. Me better means what can make Ananya better. So whole time I'm working in favor of this character, this performance. And but performance is different. No, I have to live my life. My experience is independent of what happens in this performance. So is this clear? But any questions here? Is this making sense? What are some of the questions?
It's hard to have that eagle perspective all the time, right? We get so much consumed in
Consumed.
day-to-day
Yeah.
life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's why our aim is not to have, let's make this clear, that our aim is not to have, so there are two things. One is quantity, how much I do it, how much. And another thing is quality. When I do it, what's the quality? Yeah. So our focus is always going to be 100% quality. So it's not that I have to use it all the time. Yeah. But when I use it 3 times a day, then the quality. Because what happens is if there is a glass of there are this is a glass of milk, and it's filled with milk, and I just drop, I put one strand, one tiny strand of hair, in this glass of milk. Can I drink it? Because everything else is milk, right? And just one or one drop of, blood in this glass. It's just one drop, but everything else is 100% milk. Can I drink it? Why not? Because that one drop of impurity pollutes the whole thing. Yes. And so there's this glass. So we focus on whenever we, you know, meditate or whenever we create time to use that intellect, let's make it 100%. 100% clear, 100% clear. So not whole day 90% awareness that this is a performance, this is a drama, but 10% all the time, that 10%, I am this, I am that. That doesn't help much. So but doing it 3 times a day, you know for 2 minutes, but if there is quality, then that is going to show results. I can do it whole day. I can sit in a monastery for whole day up on the mountain, and whole day I am this, I am that, and this world is like that. But if it's mixed, if it's mixed with, poison, mixed with water, then it's everything is poison. So it's just about quality. So at this stage, we are not worried about quantity at all. Our focus is quality. So again, to extend the exercise, let's make a spiritual, spiritual or it's like a spiritual piggy bank. So either in a notebook, on a piece of paper, or just internally in the mind, spiritual piggy bank. And whole day, I just have to see in entire day, how much money did I put in the spiritual bank? So money here is time is money. Yeah, we all know time is money. So the time that I create using the divine intellect, that is going to be my money in the spiritual bank. So for next 24 hours, I just have to see how much did I accumulate in my spiritual, piggy bank. If it's $5, that's fine. $5 means 5 minutes. Yeah. $10, $15, how much? So these are timeless minutes. These are very precious minutes. So this is gold. This is precious. This is even more valuable than gold. So for all of us, next 24 hours, let me look at myself as a eagle, and so how much time effort do I make to make this eagle fly? Again, it will come back, sit on a branch, hold on to it. This is mine. That's okay. Let me take 1 minute to let it fly. And with this, we can say this is like quickly, we will look at, or we can look at this tomorrow. Four steps of meditation. We'll look at this tomorrow. But right now, today, just 24 hours using the divine intellect. I can see my kids, I know their names, I know their habits. 2 minutes, let the eagle fly, let it see the whole picture. The entire picture is they are not 10 years old, she is not 15 years old, they are ageless, just for 1 minute. And so let me write that down, in somewhere in my mobile or on a notebook. Let me write that 2 minutes, I just collected, deposited 2 minutes. I didn't look at them as my kids and my, boss and my manager, but these are like these are eagles as well. They are very secured beings. They are invisible presence. They are travelers. And this is, let me come behind the stage, backstage. Let me go backstage. Yes. And so how many times in next 24 hours do I go backstage? It's very important. If I keep going back to the backstage, then I'm aware that there is a performance on the stage. If I never visit the backstage, then I've forgotten. Yeah, so let me come outside of the stage and see others also in that vision. So on the stage, I can see, Ananya, I can see this, and I can see the status, I can see doctor. But from behind the stage, I can see they're just actors. Actors, they belong to a perfect home, their best home, very happy, very joyous, silent world. And that's the behind the stage. That's what I can see. Yes. So any questions, any thoughts on that?
How do we consciously shift our thought process or the mind from being stone, intellect to eagle?
Yeah.
Intellect?
Yeah. So mind will follow the directions of the intellect. So this is like the elder child, and this is a very young child. It's like an infant or a baby. So the baby will do what this 15-year-old or 18-year-old, child is doing. So it's just a perspective, taking that jump and taking that perspective, then all my thoughts will be in that direction. So just having these simple, starting with simple thoughts. Um, First, my perspective is that this is a stage. So I just take that perspective, this is a stage. And then my thoughts, thought after thought will lead into that, support that perspective. So what is happening here is temporary, it can change, and it does change, it's unpredictable. This is the world of 100%, you can predict this world. 100% you can predict. Absolutely predictable. Nothing changes here, it's changeless. All the time there is love, all the time there is peace, all the time there is silence. Everyone is harmless. So all are friendly. This you can predict it. This, you can't predict what happens next. You cannot predict. So taking that perspective, thoughts will lead into that. So just for 5 minutes, let's experiment with this. Let us experiment. We can allow ourselves to close our eyes or keep the eyes open. Right from the first second that I opened my eyes, whatever I saw from the minute I opened my eyes today, it was all on the stage. Everything, the next hour, the hour before this hour, was all part of the performance. It's on the stage. And stage has movement, it has sound, it has different personalities, it has characters. Stage has different elements and characters. And one such character, one such story is the one I see in the mirror every day. One such character is the one I define myself, I introduce myself. That is a part of the show. And so I'm very comfortable with this character, with this story. because I'm very comfortable in discovering the real, the true self, which is this invisible presence. This invisible presence is just visiting, just plays the role for some time and it moves on. And it is as if that story, that character never existed because it's over. Show goes on, nothing ever stops on the stage, nothing comes to a halt. And so, even if I step back from the stage for a couple of minutes, nothing is going to stop. I can step back. Internally, I can just allow myself to come in this dimension, just like the evening red sky, very vibrant red sky, vibrant yet very soothing and relaxing. And so, for all the invisible masters, this is a dimension of light. We can see this in the color of red sky, very gentle red color. And this is a world, the real world. I, the tiny star, the invisible presence. I am full of love, full of joy. There is no reason to be worried. There is no reason to complain. Absolutely no reason. I know that on the stage a performance is happening. Even right now, when I'm in this real world, this place of 100% security. There is a performance that's going on. There is sound, there is action, and I can look at the whole thing from my home. There is these waves of love all around. Clouds of complete acceptance. Each one, these invisible masters, they are so sweet. They are absolutely egoless. They are so powerful, immensely beautiful, immensely powerful. They don't lack anything, they have everything. Full, completely full. And now this master, this invisible master, invisible being of fullness, joy, not lacking a single thing. And he absolutely needs nothing from the stage. He does not require anything. And so this master, this invisible master, comes back on the stage and he is 100% aware that this is just a stage. Even the next hour, the next day, performance will continue. It's a fantastic show that is going on, such a brilliant show that is going on. It is so real and so sophisticated. There are dialogues and actions. These masks, they look so beautiful and so real. And this is all needed in the show. This is needed as part of the show. And it's great. It's great to witness this performance. But let me emotionally, internally be in truth, be in light, be in clarity of what this is all about. In the next hour, something unpredictable happens, something changes. It's good, it's part of the show. Show must be like that. Sometimes it's thrilling, sometimes there's politics, there is comedy. That is all needed in a performance. Different plots are needed in a performance, and it's great. I am free. I am light. I'm very easy. And I am very grateful that I get to see such a performance and I can experience my world and remain in light. I am wonderful. Each one is wonderful. And the performance is wonderful. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Thank you.